ball, not entirely still, which tells you a story about the wind here this afternoon. It is a factor. Again, I won't mention it for those just joining us. It's blowing from right to left in South Africa. Look for the perfect start then with the wind in their backs. And, well, a save from Musanda. Sees the ball coming off the foot of the post. Talk about a good start. From kickoff all the way through to very nearly finding the opening goal inside the opening 20 seconds. Wow. Bit of a scare for the Zambians. How do they respond is the big question. It's Dailani. Under a bit of pressure in the end, losing out then to what is eager play from Apepa, going down the line in search of Banda. She will pop up on the left side, she'll pop up on the right side, including in the middle of the park. Will Banda, in an effort to try and be a threat and to keep the South African defense guessing. So, if you were with us in the earlier game, you look up to the top stand and see the difference in the fans and the turnout from the fans here for the main game already. The support there and willing. The South Africans for the Zambians do have a handful of supporters out there, and it just will be so outnumbered. From a South African point of view, it may be hard to tell them apart. Now, ball played into that far side. Lovely 1-2 involving Sam, and the eventual shot coming in then from Nshota. Sees maybe a bit of a touch, I do suspect, from Musanda onto that post. Which was very nearly the perfect start to the game then, with the youngster enjoying yet another start in this tournament. Nshota plays for City Ladies, only enjoyed 66 minutes out at the Madiba Stadium in what was a start for an only appearance of the tournament. Pops up here for yet another start in the final. And talk about a start that gets your confidence up. Your confidence should be nice and high after that attempt. Mwimba standing over this. Then you can see the effect working against the Zambians then, but lovely work by Lubanji to try and make something of that. The ball held up in the sky, then it was anyone's guess as to where it would drop. Lubanji looking to anticipate the drop. Does work hard, does Lubanji. The striker plays for Red Arrows, or Red Arrows Football Club, I should say. Not on that far side, taking no chances. Is Makama, winner of the Player of the Match award in the semi-final. So interesting, listening to her post-match interview with Bali, and she has trouble here trying to keep Banda in check. When she does pop up on that far side, it is Makama's task to try and keep Barbara Banda in check. That very few have been able to do in this tournament, trying to keep up with the lady who plays the club football for Shanghai, China. One goal and she'll go into double figures. That's how prolific she's been in this tournament. Scored from 3 dead ball situations, 2 free kicks, I beg your pardon, and 1 corner, directly from the corner, mind you. Nakama just about able to find her teammates. Well, tackles will be flying in then. Chikumbu is the latest to feel the battle in the middle of the park, playing alongside Jamie Lee Witboy. Madembe Chikumbu plays for Indies. Her 3rd appearance in this tournament. She's only played 92 minutes up to this point. The lady wearing the number 14 jersey for South Africa. Well, the confidence is nice and high, and that's evident to see the way she's moving on that field with her movements. Nchota, that is, wearing the number 11 jersey, now battling out on that far side and coming out tops, getting to the byline. They're going to keep it in play in search of Sam, but beaten to it then was Sam by the arrival of Lungu. With the wind being what it is, keep in mind, South Africa do have it at their backs here. It will be a completely different story once, if it stays this way, once the South Africans switch up in the second half and go against the wind. We saw that with Tanzania in the earlier match, where Tanzania had the wind in their backs in the first half, played a good brand of football, struggled somewhat in the second half. Masonda, the start to the game for Catherine Masonda. Plays for Indian Roses, her 4th appearance. Got a space for Lungu. Tembo, exciting to watch operating in that left back position. The same can be said for Belemu here on this near side in the number 8 jersey. But pressing from the South Africans then, forcing the early ball forward. Now, Tembo. Lubanji, so good at playing with the back to goal and looking to bring others into it from midfield and those running on from the wide defensive positions. That was well read by Mwemba. Calming effects as she works it out wide to Mapepa. Top of your picture, you can see there's still more people arriving to this venue. Space in the field here. South Africa looks to push on through Shamase. Eslung. Tembo. Too much time on the ball then by Tembo. Good pressure applied by Nchota. Early ball forward, trying to get it in behind that Zambian defense. Stood firm. Now, there's evidence of the flag then, and the wind blowing from right of your picture to the left. Again, behind the backs of the South Africans as they go into the attack. Whenever the Zambians lift the ball here in their attempt to work it forward, you will see the effects the wind is having on this game as it holds the ball up in the air. Best chance of the game thus far, if you are just joining us, did before the South Africans right from kickoff. So Nchota getting in behind that defense on the far side, and a shot coming off the post. Do suspect there was a bit of a touch from Masonda there. Speaking of Nchota, had a very good start to this game, running at a space out on that far side with pressure being applied by the likes of Tembo. Amongst those involved from a Zambian point of view. Here she is on the ball once again. Talented midfielder with the ability to take on players and eliminate numbers. Finding Belemu here on the near side. Kept moving by Misozi. Good work this by the Zambians. Again, it's Katongo involved every step of the way then, from the defensive third all the way through to the attacking final third, as they force the throw-in. With the South Africans taking no chances. With Ramuaka going for safety. The overheads could still turn into something with Mapepa on the far side. Lubanji attempting that overhead strike. Working hard as ever is Makama. Out in that right back position. I was mentioning earlier how emotional she was, Makama, on the ball, speaking to Bali in her post-match interview after winning the Player of the Match award in the semi-final. Really was something listening to her speak, and how proud she was of not only herself but her teammates, saying she put it all out there, put it all on the line for the team. Again, further evidence of more supporters arriving on that far side as the foul is given away here by Tembo. Well, the numbers just keep piling up, and with that far side grandstand filling up, and the grandstand to the right of our picture filling up, they're all going to now start moving to the grandstand to the left, which is behind the goal being defended by Zambia. There they are, all moving to the left of your picture. That's where they're going, to the grandstand behind the goal the Zambians are defending. Zabanji losing out to Vetboy. Kailani involved in with South Africa looking to keep possession of the ball. Pass here from Gatong as the Zambians look for width. Ramwaka again stepping up here, and not having any of it is the TUT ladies defender. Mentioned how involved her and let's also have been so far in this tournament. This is her fifth appearance, having played 278 minutes leading up to this point. And another 12 from this match. It's also by far her partner in the heart of defense, has enjoyed the most game time of any South African player out there. And it's at 352 minutes plus the 13 of this match. Good work in defense then from Makama. Not only did she defend that, but she found and shot her down the line. Tembo. Member looking to get rid of it here. Pressure on the Zambian defense. That clearance, well, doesn't find a teammate with a battle on in the middle of the park. One by Gatong. Really does play an important role for the Zambian side in the middle of the park. Does the lady wearing the number 12 jersey, Katongo, if you're unfamiliar with her. Equally as important is Lungu alongside her in the 14 jersey. Yes, Mwemba. Able to help them play out from defense on so many occasions. Something that's also done well for the South Africans in matches gone by. Tembo finding Banda. Unable to find Katongo, but she's there to put up a fight and try and make something of it. Kailani. They are proving tough. The Zambian ladies, even playing against the wind, they are able to spend time in the opposition half of the field, stitched together some passes from defense right through midfield, not affected by the conditions at all by the look of it. Able to keep the ball on the ground then, and crucial in their intentions are the likes of Katong and Lungu in midfield, who of course are able to keep the momentum going. There is Katong with a touch back to Tembo, forced to go long this time. Finding Banda, can't avoid a couple of challenges. Now, South Africa looking for a bit of width. Souls. Done well, Souls, finding Sam. Seen very little of the ball in areas that can hurt the Zambians so far. The South African top goal scorer is Katong, under pressure. Good pressure then from South Africa through Shamase. That looks a good ball. So do well to keep it alive. Quick. That pass asked a lot of Njota, who appreciates the effort to try and pick out. There's Realis watching on, making it clear to all involved. She's just here to give a support role to Coach Lutlu, who's done a stunning job along with his team that had just 2 days preparation ahead of the tournament, keep in mind. Did speak to Desiree before this game got underway, and she told me she was tired. A lot's happened. There's been a lot of traveling. There's been a lot of football. There's been a lot of engagements to keep up to before this tournament and in recent times. Saying she had a breakfast meet at Hopper State this morning and struggled to get up and make it in time for that Hopper State breakfast meet. I've had the pleasure of working with her in years gone by in commentary. Desiree always stayed committed to the women's game, and how far she's come over the years. No doubts. A foul for that challenge. Coming a little strong was Shamase. Let me see. Free kick specialist is Mwemba when they aren't looking for goal. She'll be looking for a teammate on the far side. Big ladies push forward. Yalubanji amongst them. Overcut is the set piece. Will go out for the throw-in favor of South Africa, who might be mindful to take it a little quickly then, for the Zambians are aware of the space afforded them. In the end, Banda's there to ensure it's a bit of an uphill battle, trying to work it upfield here. Again, the youngsters arriving. They'll be running up and down that grass embankment out on that far side in the near future. Some of them just gather here at the stadium, the very youngest of fans, to have fun. Boy, they've had lots of fun here at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium. Katong. Lubanji, strong job holding it up. This she does so well. Able to shrug off the challenge as well then. Supported by Lungu. This Belemu. Looking for the return. Oh, she's quick, Belemu. Was fouled. Good understanding between Belemu and Rachel Misozi. Playing ahead of her then. Nice little 1-2 between the two. Brings Shamase into a spot-to-potter with that late challenge. In fact, it's Tailani with the late challenge. Not only was she the victim of a foul where she was tripped, then she had the ball banged into her back. Belemu, but she's fine, able to continue. Now this will be interesting. The range is a little bit closer, so those that may have an eye on goal here, such as Mapepa, are close to the ball. Panda as well. Panda has left this for what I believe to be the left-footed player. Better angle for a left-footed player to have a go here. That is the case here for Mapepa. So, can she get it around that wall? Answers yes, but, well, keeper then, Namakakula, they've made a bit of a meal of that with the pressure being applied by Lubanji. Didn't want to take any chances, so palmed it out for the corner. Plays for you, Jay. That's the third match she's involved in the tournament. 180 minutes in the 2 matches she's played so far. Dineo Magakola. Banda has at times looked for goal in playing corners from that far side at this very stadium. Here's Banda again. Onto their favorite right foot, very right-footed. Banging it into Vetboy. Mapepa. Banda down the line. Strong play. Solid play from Makama. continuing from where she left off in the semi-final, really, with her performances out in the right back position. Minutes gone by in a final. It's very watchable here between the South Africans and the Zambians. The Zambians even going against the wind, playing some good football here. This Lungu, Lubanji. Belemu working hard to try and make herself an option. Lubanji combining well with Misozi. Now they can find Belemu. Options inside that box. One of them was the late arrival then of Lungu, who just couldn't take it in stride or take it at the first time of asking, but impressive once again from the Zambians as they keep the South Africans pinned back in their own half. Keep in mind, the Zambians are going against the wind here. Good football they're playing. Very good football. Bruce Mwape's side. What they've been able to do is keep the South African supporters in their numbers here at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium very quiet. Yes, the best moment of the match in an attempted goal has gone the South African way. When it just comes to out-and-out play, it looks as though the Zambians are in control. That moment coming in the opening 20 seconds for South Africa. Keep in mind if you are just joining us late. Jota. Sam. Had the option out wide on this near side, still does have it. That Dailani holding on to it. Plenty of Zambians back to make life difficult here for the South Africans. Trying their luck from range, but will need to do much better to get the better of Catherine Masanda. Chikumbu with the attempt then from a very long way out. Plays for my Indies in South Africa does Madam Mabel Chikumbu. Only enjoyed 92 minutes of play so far in the 2 appearances, so we'll love the start here in the final. Panda looked dangerous play and was from Misozi. Souls, to a credit, kept her eye on the ball then and didn't worry much about the raised foot. Now, Thailand isolated. Willem was quick. Thailand applying enough pressure to make sure the throw-in is from as an uncomfortable position as possible for the Zambians, right next to the corner flag or as close to it as possible. Willem looking to steal a few yards, is asked to track back. Cool and calm as they try and play it out. Impressive. In their efforts to try and play it out here, the Zambians. Lubanji again involved in helping build from the back here. Finding Banda as well to avoid the challenge. Quick to look to my paper on that far side. Tembo with the overlapping run. There's Lubanji again. First time attempt with the tricky pass. Didn't quite work out. Belemu under pressure. Concedes the throw-in. Tailani applying the pressure from a South African point of view then. Souls. Good work by Gatongo to win it back here. Bit of pressure on Belemu, but she's handled it superbly, including the options available to her to play it out then, included Lungu. Now, Misozi Mapepa again, tempo on a bike from that left back position. She's pushed right up as the left back stays wide as the option, but that's great work once again from Nchota in winning it back momentarily. Smart play from Mapepa in protecting the throw-in favor of the Zambians. Lubanji, again, stunning job with the back to goal initially and then bringing others into it. It's Mapepa out wide on that far side. Supported by Lubanji. Doesn't score too many, but she really does play well, the big number 9. Jamie Lee Vitboy with the touch to concede the corner. The Zambians again doing their bit to frustrate the South Africans here who have the wind at their backs. With the wind blowing away from goal here, it'll be interesting to see whether she goes for goal here. In towards that near post again. Misozi. We look to keep the South Africans on the back foot here. Tembo providing width is Belem. Thailand done well. Get the pressure applied by the Zambians here. Whenever the South Africans have the ball, then in the case, Chamasi looked up in a very little time to decide what to do with the ball before there were 2 or 3 on her. Katong. Lubanji. The ball over to the far side. Mapepa doesn't get beyond. Another impressive defensive display from Makama. Figida Makama continues to come up with some rather important moments in defense for the South Africans, as was the case in the semi-final. The UWC ladies right back, enjoying her 4th match in this tournament. Take the 27 minutes she's played so far. Add to that the 270 she had coming into this match, and she's had a good amount of game time here, has been very well used. She's tested once again, goes for safety this time, and taking no chances. Tell you what, with just about half an hour gone by in this match, the Zambians will take a few positives out of this first half, even if it were to stay 0-0. Not suggesting it will, but for one, going against the winds, having so much possession, will encourage them once they do have the wind at their backs in the second half. Belemu, they really do use the ball well. Katongo, blasting past one and looking to blast that goal now. Is that a penalty? Referee hasn't given it. Makama was hoping for a foul. Ball played over towards that far side. Zambians is looking as though they had a real shout for a penalty then. Mapepa was the lady brought down. More lies on Matabo Ologotwani of Lesotho. Can't quite believe it, the Zambians. Let's have a look. Katongo with that hopeful shot, that touch not very convincing. Well, it would have happened outside of the box if the decision went the way of the Zambians. No doubt it would have happened outside of the box. The contact. Only question is, should there have been a decision in favor of Bruce Mwape's side? Let's have a look once again here. Guess their first contact outside of the box. No question, they should have a free kick at the very least, the Zambians. They survived then. This also, it was with a challenge. Half an hour gone by, and the Zambians are becoming more and more of a threat in this game. Getting the corners, getting the time spent in the opposition half of the field, and asking some serious questions of South Africa and their resilience. Katongo having a solid game in midfield. Belemu, impressive as ever. It's at right back. Misozi. Lungu. Katongo. Early ball, looking for Banda. Tracks off one, and looks to have an attempt from a good area. Just got under it and skied it. Somewhere near Jupiter right now. Lubanji, so strong, such a strong runner of the ball. Gets the set piece. Another that's having an impressive game on behalf of the Zambians is Lubanji. Drops deep, picks up with a back to goal. If allowed to turn, she will run at that defense. Again, well, she is the big number 9. They don't necessarily need goals from her, playing alongside Barbara Banda. Tell you what, she's won a set piece here where Banda could ask some serious questions of Dineo Makakola. The angle is a bit of a tough one, but what's that to Barbara Banda with what she's shown us in the course of this COSAFA, or rather I should say Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championship. Again, the wind is such that the ball, even placed on the ground, doesn't necessarily stand still, which we'll be testing for Banda here. Will it move just before she kicks it? Answers no, gets it beyond the wall. Nowhere near troubling Dineo Magagola, who comfortably had the footwork to snatch that up, even though it looked as though it was going wide. Sam, able to turn here, looking for Dailani. Stembo, that'll pick it up here for the Zambians. Nice touch from Dailani. Good boy. Heavy touch from Bilim. Samson, back to Dailani. Difficult angle. The strike wasn't true from Dailani then. Didn't get a proper connection. Misozi to Lubanji. Confusion defensively, but no problems in the end then from or for Magama. Going in towards the last 10 minutes of this first half, and the Zambians continue to keep the 12th man quiet here as Lubanji picks up and squares up against Vedboy. Looks to Banda's movement inside the box. Defense does enough. Sam. The ball out wide on the far side to Nchota. Looking to feed it into the run from or for Shamase. Yes, Sam. South Africa will do well here to string a few passes together, something they've struggled at in this half. Movement from Sauls. And well to win it back, Sauls. First time she's really pushed forward into these sort of areas, battling against Belemu. Nicely done by the Zambians. Very well done by the Zambians. Continue to play it out impressively. Keeping it on the ground here, mindful not to sky it until they absolutely have to. Lovely first touch from Banda. Good burst of pace as well. It's Banda! Had the chance to play it across. Didn't take it then. Had she done so, could very well have been 1-0 Zambia. But explosive was Barbara Banda. How's this? Lovely first touch. Keeps it moving. Now played across there, thinking she doesn't. And it's gone out for the goal kick. Did too much right at the end. Did Barbara Banda. Almost took the entire back four to deal with her. And that is the danger she poses. Lubanji. Tembo. Nice touch initially. Banda working hard to help win it back here. Elemu with pace. Nisozi into Banda. Lost it under her feet. Shamasi there to pick up the pieces for South Africa. They really are playing well at the Zambians here. It's Katongo. Finds Belemu. Nisozi down the line. Lungu. Katongo. And eventually lose it with the wayward pass. Kailani there to pick it up immediately. They apply pressure in the middle of the park here in South Africa. Well, spend just a few seconds of the ball. That's what the Zambians have done very well. When they've lost it, they've looked to win it back as quickly as possible. As is the case now. Lungu. Belemu. Shamasi now for South Africa. Looking to Sam, who's isolated. Needs a bit of help. Battling against the speedy Belemu. Gets beyond her. Again, protecting the ball. Help a little slow in arriving. The Sauls is there. Driving forward on this near side. Right footed is Saul, so eventually she sends it in there. Kailani gets the first. Look at her playing across. Desperate times defensively for Zambia. They had a good moment for the South Africans. Sam with a stunning job at holding it up then. Saul's playing her part, pushing forward out on this left side. Kailani's touch was crucial as she pushed forward, but Saul's finding her. Then the keeper does a stunning job, coming out, making herself big. The eventual clearance from Mwemba, not intended to be a pass towards the keeper, Musanda, who was more than happy to gather that ball. South Africa with a moment of menace, the best since the opening 20 seconds. Tembo. Belem. Katong. Lungu. Belemu to Misozi. Lungu. Lubanji. Saul's taking no chances. And they're looking towards Lubanji then. Cleared impressively by Vetboy. Nchota. Shamase. quickly surrounded by ladies in orange and black. Then as the Zambians push forward on this near side once again. There's Banda with a good first touch. Felt she was fouled in by the South African captain as the two ladies wearing the armbands came together. Talking to for Tato Letroso. Plays for TUT ladies. Last 5 of a very watchable final, very watchable first half, winding down towards an end here. Zambia with the set piece they hope will see them possibly taking the lead into the half-time break. Mapepa standing over it. With the wind being what it is, maybe the best decision, maybe I say, but what do I know? Would be to look for a teammate out on that far side. Exactly what she does. That boy able to get it clear, but not clear well enough, and Banda with a strike. Ooh, she got power on that. Looking for a 10th goal of this tournament. And that, by the way, was her left foot. She could do that with her left, and you haven't seen her play just yet. You should see what she could do with her right. Katongo. Pressure impressively from Vedboy. Turned into quite a battle in the middle of the park between Vedboy as well as Chikumbu, battling against the likes of Lungu and Gatongo, who one could argue have very much been in control of this game. Mapepa finding Lubanji. Lungu to Tembo. This is what they do so well. When they wait to create the space to move into that final third, keeping the ball moving, keeping the opponent chasing. Mwemba. Nice little touch from Mapepa. Looking for the 1-2 as they get into that final third. 3 in the box, the ball in. Lacks in quality. Again, they do that so well. And patiently forcing the openings then to find a way in. Moving from the left back to the center, to the right, and back down to the left once the opening had come from Mapepa. Two nations that will represent the continent out at the World Cup on display here from the Zambians. We have a clearer picture of the ladies that will be, of course, going through to the World Cup with the squad we're witnessing now, looking to be crowned COSAFA champions for the first time, which will come as a huge surprise to many. Lubanji, very nicely done. Banda. Battle of the captains. Banda keeping moving in till Souls have seen enough. Good boy with the clearing header. Only as far as Katongo. Got it horribly wrong with the pass then. So, off goes Nchota. Nakama. Chikumbu. Pretty much sums up the first half from a South African point of view. And their efforts to make it happen. And that pretty much supports or sums up how they feel from a supporter's point of view. Want to see changes. Feel to this most likely has been a Zambian half in open play here, and there is a threat coming through from the Zambians. Belemu, ball in, far post, and all plays in the minutes there. It is Lubanji who just couldn't get over it then. That's too much on that from Belemu. Now, they are needed. They really are needed. And late in this first half, they begin to find their voices at a time when, well, Simpiwe Dludlu and sides are finding this a bit of an uphill battle against the Zambians. It will get tougher in the second half once they go against the wind. Zambia going against the wind. They've done a stunning job in this first half, and the wind is really a factor. At times you've seen the ball placed on the floor, if you are just joining us, for a dead ball situation, and before the set piece has taken, the ball moves so strong as the wind, and the effect it's had on the games here today. Half-timing, where the Zambians will feel they've played the better football here. They've had moments, although the best chance has gone the South African way. They've had chances, they've had the ball, and, well, will feel better about themselves, will the Zambians once feels. Well, South Africa do have Sam out there. They've created very engineer as well that would have enjoyed the third and fourth playoff. It's a full house at the Isaac Wilson Stadium. That was a guy that they've done a stunning job of getting behind the women's game as Zambia get the action underway. They'll be attacking to the left of your picture while South Africa attack to the right. Zambia will be the happy of the two sides just with the way they were able to control the game and have the bulk of the possession going against the wind. Keep in mind now the wind behind their backs, which will make it a tough ask for the South Africans pushing forward, and we'll see how the South Africans deal with the fact that they are going up against the wind in situations such as this, where the wind certainly does hold the ball up in the air. We may have an example of that with this goal kick. No changes then to the starting 11s as they rifle through at the bottom of your picture. It's as you were in the first 45 for both the South Africans and the Zambians. Many of the fans finding their places back in their seats here at the start of the second half. Belemu looking for Banda on the turn. Couldn't quite pick out either Mapepa or Lubanji inside that box. Sam losing out to the busybody that is Belemu in that right back position. It was interesting in the dying moments of the first half. The fans maybe applying a bit of pressure on the South African ladies out there. There was a moment where Chikombu, I believe it was, had a wayward touch in the middle of the park, and fans on that far side started to get up and give that old South African sign for changes to be made. Yes, he is securing the pass, or looking to do so here with that boy. Lubanji working hard as ever. Tries to make Southern life difficult for the South Africans. Jota losing out. Lubanji quick to try and look towards Barbara Banda. Does well to roll one defender. It's also there. And still is the Zambians pushing forward. South Africa at full stretch, able to deal with the danger. Player down then, I suspect, is Lubanji. Will need assistance from the medical department. Will the big striker, been terribly busy in that first half, also had a great first half, for the most part playing with a back to goal and able to turn and bring others into it or run with the ball once securing the turn. Clipping her then on the ankle was Ramwaka. Lubanji plays for Red Arrows Football Club. Again, amongst the most used from a Zambian point of view. This fifth appearance, yet to find the back of the net, but she has been terribly effective for the Zambians. Again, they'll be very proud of the fact that they've kept the 12th man from a South African point of view quiet here. They have the Zambians with the football they've dished out. Out on the far side, we do have Fairview Rovers, the youngsters from the local football club that have come out. Shot from range, not going to be problematic for Makakula, but a sign of what's to come, quite possibly, from the Zambians here. They'll be looking to use the wind. Of course, the threat will be Banda from a dead ball situation. So South Africans need to be wary of dead balls around that box, or space to the likes of Banda, who can hit it from range. It's also only as far as Mapepa. Didn't fully commit to that header, so South Africa able to get it clear. Mchata. Mchata again. Good boy. Pressure being applied by Katongo. Tembo. Well, throughout the game, remember, has taken charge of the dead balls that are too far to go directly for goal. Panda Elemo under pressure, can't keep that under control. South Africa will be make a change here. They'll look for the busybody. That is Busisi Wendimeni. Will be coming on to replace Mchata. Here's Lubanji. Throw in this time will go the way of the South Africans. Shamase looking to roll the opponent out on that far side to try and keep it moving down the line, winning the throw in. Good boy. Thailand. Shucks off the challenge from the defender. Again, isolated is Thailand. Chamasi quick to arrive on the scene then. The decision will go the way of the Zambians. They are struggling to play a flowing game of this young South African side. Nicely done with a good pass for Mapepa from Misozi. Mapepa forced out wide. That's got defending once again from Makama. Gets the applause from those out in the stands that appreciate the defensive effort. She's not only quick, but she's strong as well. Very defensively sound is the young lady wearing the number 13 jersey for South Africa. Player of the match in the semi-final for South Africa, looking to put forward yet another impressive display here in the final. Well, UJ is Dineo Makakola in a spot of bother. In the meantime, Sipuet Lulu and look to encourage the ladies with some words of wisdom here that may just work out tactically. Sam getting the instruction. Yet to have a real look at goal so far in this match, Sam. So the change I spoke of a little bit earlier sees Njota make way. We'll have Dimeni coming on. She really has been impressive in most of her displays out here. Dimeni, hard working, hard running. There's the TUT lady international who's coming in for a fourth appearance over this tournament. Enjoyed 249 minutes and a good few starts in this tournament. She may very well be what the South Africans need here in their efforts to run this Zambian defense record. Hard running, great with the ball at their feet, great at finding space as well. Sam looking for Ndimeni. That's a good ball here. Tembo shrugged off. Looking back towards Sam. That's an important defensive play. Impressive in how well read that was, and the tiniest interception from Wemba. So Ndimeni coming on and immediately looking to be a threat. Here's Barbara Banda. Gatong. Belemu. Disappointing final ball from Belem. Again, they need to remember they have the wind in their backs and may need to adjust their angle somewhat here when playing the ball in. The ball helping the ball over. Tactical team hard at work in plotting a way forward. Banda, Lubanji, set up for the strike from range. They would have discussed it at half time here. Whenever they do get the ball in good positions in the final third, see if you can test Makakola. Longo with the opportunity then, didn't strike it well enough. Nicely done. Misozi initially then in trying to keep it alive for the Zambians. Pressure by Longo. Chamase didn't put enough on it to find Dimeni. Tembo. Katongo. Mapepa. Tembo. Approaching the 1 hour mark. The Zambians yet to make a change. As Banda holds it up. Misozi there for support. Kailani only slowing them down for a moment. Belemu. Misozi. With the ball in, well defended by Ramuaka. They're not done, the Zambians. It's Banda again. Onto that left. This time it's Mars. South Africa will be looking forward to yet another change. Kailani, I do believe, will be making way for Nondumiso Anengela. Pieces picked up here by South Africa. Kailani turning away from danger, looking to Dimeni. Again, isolated and forced backwards. Pressure, as always, being applied on the lady on the ball here. They've done it consistently well. Have the Zambians. Shamase, again, has 2 or 3 to deal with. Make that 2. Has the footwork. Gets to the byline. Stands superbly well to win the corner. Bringing some life from those out in the stands. South Africa look to, well, will the ladies out there forward against Zambia to be the first to find the back of the net. So, Anengela will be coming on. Ntalani will be making way. The lady coming on plays for UWC Ladies. Her 4th appearance of the tournament, has enjoyed 183 minutes thus far. Very few chances created in the second half. So South Africa with the corner. Could have had the chance with the header then. Missed altogether, I suspect, by Ndimeni. Souls. Betboy with the turn into trouble. Two balls on the field is the reason things have been brought to a halt. Challenge from behind on Sam. Felt that. The Cape Town Roses young lady only enjoyed 129 minutes, scoring 4 goals in that time ahead of this match. As we look back at this opportunity, off of Sam last, but she knew very little about it, expecting the header just in front of her from the teammates. Well, there's a few out there that have found their voices. Again, they are needed as South Africa look to be the first to open the scoring here in this encounter. And the young men and women that have found their voices and are providing us a nice backdrop of noise here in this match. Much needed support to try and make life difficult for the visitors, that being the Zambians, who are very much familiar with their surroundings and will feel as much as home as any other team that's not South African here that has taken part in this tournament. The scorer of 4 goals, they're hoping, will be able to walk off the injury and be back on that field to be a threat. Yet to have a real look at goal here. Very few goal-scoring opportunities created between these two sides. It should be said in all fairness. Still a very watchable game. Mapep. Quick enough to still keep it alive on the near side. And get to the byline. The ball in! Finds Misozi, who can't find the true touch to direct that goalwards. And still, Zambia looking a threat. That will be the last involvement for Mapepa, who won't add to a 1 goal in this tournament as she makes way. Nanyangwe will come on in her place. Plays for Green Buffaloes. The third, make that a fourth appearance in this tournament in Nyangwe. Tembo, Tulungu. Bilemu in space out to the far side, not used. Will fall kindly for her, and she wastes no time in trying to play it in again. Doesn't get her angles right. Frustrating the three that were awaiting the cross. Good boy. Tembo. Now, Thunder on the turn. Looking to use that right foot to find space in the end. She finds the option in Bilemu. Good touch from Katongo. Looking to line it up for the shot. That was an important challenge to deny the Zambians a possible shot on target from range. Has stayed down under the challenge. Zakatongo will be in need of some attention. Good time is she is being helped back up onto her feet. Plays the club football for ZISD out in Zambia. Score of 1 for the Zambian cause. Her 5th appearance. 291 minutes she's played. That man in the middle of your picture a moment ago has been out here for every Zambian game. At times there's only been 4 of them. They've been out there and loud and as proud as they can be in the Zambian colors. A few more of them here for the final to have turned up, and certainly in belief of the effect that their side could cause the huge upset here. Banda struggling against what's a stubborn South African defense. Kamase. Tembo there with the interception. Lubanji, quick to turn and face the enemy, so to speak. The movement of the ball coming from Gatongo. Closely watched by Vetboy. Good battle between those two in the middle of the park. Get wild with the South African midfielder. Who plays for Vasco da Gama Ladies, Vetboy. Again, another who's been amongst the most constantly used. As Saul uses the skill but loses out in the end and is out of position. Zambians pushing forward. Gatong. A ball out to this wide near sides. Banda there. Pressure with Tembo looking in field towards Gatong, who was fouled. Again, the distance may be such that they won't fancy their chances at goal, but you never know. If that was the case, you would expect at least to see Barbara Banda on the ball. She's amongst those out to that far side that will be expecting a delivery that gives them something to work with. Eventually it's a shot. Makakula had it covered. Just done. And looking to cause problems is Anyangwe. Foul for the challenge on Ndimeni. If you've joined us late, she has joined the game late, so to speak, as a substitute. Another change being made. Sam won't add to her 4 goals in this tournament, making way for the Temis of Vilagazi. Vilagazi plays for Indilani Roses, her first appearance in this tournament, having amassed 132 minutes before this final. So, very interesting with Souls operating in that left back position. She's very right-footed. When getting into a crossing position, needs to bring it back to a stronger foot to whip it across with the in-swinger. We are approaching the time in the game where one gets the feeling who scores next could very well be a winner. They'll be very much aware of that. All involved in this clash. Coach Lulu supported, just giving support, nothing more. Is that Desiree Ellis? Lubanji. Oh, she's done well, Lubanji. Exceptionally well in the end. She's done too much. Committed the foul even. Had a chance to play it, and then at 3 inside the box, and it's a disappointing ending to what in the beginning looked a good run. Going for the step over, which wasn't necessary. Hoping for the cutback was Panda, who was in a good position. The only of the games that will have extra time if there's no separating these sides at 90. Good work from Isozi. Good hustle out to the far side. Now looking for the early ball. Finds the teammate Lungu, quick to keep it moving. Falls for Barbara Banda, looking to place it. What a challenge with the block then from this also. Timiest play from the South African captain. Banda wasn't going for power then, she was going for placement. Foul for her, and well, she was looking for the inside of the post to the right. What a challenge from Lidzoso. On the ball now is the South African captain. Ball upfield, finds Katongo early with the ball forward, but way too much on it considering the wind behind the ball. The most successful nation at the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championship. The host nation, of course, South Africa, with their support out in the stands. Finding they're going extremely tough against a Zambian side that's looking to be crowned COSAFA champions just for the first time. On so many occasions they've come close. This a repeat of the 2019 final, keep in mind. Tembo now. Quick with the throw-in. Too quick. with the 2 balls out on the field. Red boy. Only as far as Katongo. Lungu. Solid challenge from Shamasa then to win it back from the South Africans. Now quickly looking to hit on the transition and the foul given away by Nanyangwe. Just on here in this second half, not allowing the South Africans a chance to hit on the break. Clever foul. Not bad enough to get a yellow card, but good enough to stop the momentum for South Africa. At the point is Zambia had numbers pushed forward and had lost the ball in what was a dangerous area. Dimeni getting the touch to be able to keep it moving. Pressure on the Shamas and company. After the far side, they are able to work it to a point where they do have the possession once again, and once they go long, Zambians always favoured to come out tops. That boy, hopeful with the ball forward. Well, there they are. The group that's providing us the backdrop of noise here. That's making things interesting. The Zambians, for the most part, able to keep the 12th man quiet from a South African point of view. Nanyangwe, with the initial pass to this near side, Tembo couldn't keep it moving. Here's Katong. Now Lubanji. Belemo on the overlap, used as a decoy. Good work then from Andimeni. And now winning it back for the South Africans. They look for the 1-2, then it's all read superbly well by Mwemba. And you can see the effect on the ball then from the wind holding it up then, only moving a few yards from the point at which it was kicked from. Panda with a little touch. Nanyangwe with the hustle. Space to turn for Misozi. Quick to offer apologies then. Rush a blood to the head with the attempt at the shot. Well, the Namibians are still here watching, and they're at their hearts broken in the third and fourth playoff by Tanzania, to a point where Carlos Shifanga, their coach, who had done such a stunning job at supporting the side, even when they lost in the semi-finals, well, you can see he was down at the end of that third and fourth playoff, especially in the manner in which they lost it with the own goal late in the game. They have profited from an own goal of their own earlier, which made the score 1-1. They lost out 2-1 in the end to Tanzania, the outgoing champions. There are the Tanzanians watching on with their coach Chime Bakari, of course, will be happy with the fact that they not only won it last year, but came third and got the bronze medal this time around at the Tanzanians as the guest side. Panda. again, when not allowing the ball to stay still. It's that strong. South Africans going against the wind, keep in mind. And well, in the early part of this tournament, the wind was a certain factor. The weather was cold, and it's a chilly day out there today. You can see the way the fans are dressed for the most part out in the stands. The wind once again has returned to become a factor in the third and fourth playoff as well as the final. Nicely done out on that far side until that first touch, which just wasn't good enough from Anengela. Chamase. Nicely done. Msozi combined so well. The right back and right wing out on that far side. That's a good ball to find Banda. The intentions were true then in trying to open it up then with Nanyangwe. Now, South Africa with a bit of menace about them. Early ball in, dealt with by Mwemba. Nice skill to buy time and space. Now, flag up for offside. Quite disappointingly then against Vilagazi. Near side official is Benedetto Wimbira from Malawi. Here's Banda. Banda, the captain's on once again here. Looking to work the angle for that right-footed striker. They know just that to the South Africans, so teaming up to make life difficult. Many, the nice touch initially, isolated for the time being, looking around for options and very few. That's what they've done well, the Zambians. They really do crowd the player on the ball when they hound it down, like a pack of wolves surrounding their prey. Well, they are enjoying that out in the stands. South Africa going nowhere slowly, however. Nicely done again with the pressure applied to force the error from the Zambians. They work so hard off the ball. Wind in the backs of the Zambians. Lubanji. Ball infield, looking for Tembo, finds Lungu, who has found a teammate, Misozi, lets it run on then, glossed over, thought there was a deflection, that there should be a corner. Definitely at that stage where the next goal wins it. Next goal will be the only goal. That we've experienced so far in this rather entertaining final, minus the goals here. Made more interesting by the conditions. Many felt she was fouled and there should be a decision for South Africa in the end. The throw-in was in favor of the Zambians, who quickly give away a throw-in. Lungu. On the turn, Banda. Still looking for double figures in this tournament, in search of the 10th goal of this year's Hollywood Best COSAFA Women's Championship. decision and a card. Doesn't quite believe she did much wrong. Musase. Had a decent game playing alongside Mwemba in the heart of defense, and in the end is mindful of keeping Banda in check so she doesn't talk herself into trouble. Jimeni, the victim, able to continue. Has been a very clean game up to this point. That's the only yellow card shown. Nobody has dared leave the venue just yet, as they are hoping, for the most part, for a late South African goal. There are those that will hope for a late Zambian goal before the 90 minutes is done and dusted. I think it's safe to say the home support doesn't quite agree with Benedetta Wimbira in that offside call. Now, Banda ran into a brick wall in the form of Ramwaka, whose defensive play then was just as important as Litoso's block earlier on in this half. And the wind holding the ball up as the South Africans try and work it into the attacking positions. Thrown it will be to the Zambians. Belemu, Chilungu. Movement from Banda. Shucks off one challenge, cuts it back! Another important block. This time is from Makama, with yet another important defensive play. Katongo looking for Lungu. Movement good from Tembo on this near side. Quick with the ball in. Banda onto that left. Pressure from the Zambians. That early ball, so troublesome from Tembo. And they're just not giving the space she needs whenever she is in the shooting position, which stood South Africa in good stead. Lubanji. Katongo, back to Lubanji. Good battle, won by Vedboy. Committed into the challenge then, and coming from an offside position was Barbara Banda. Two captains came together here. South Africans will be happy to see theirs getting back up on their feet. Litroso. Banda is feeling quite a bit here. That's a bit of contact between the two, but should be fine to continue. Well, as she leaves the field, she looks in good nick, does Banda. I think the only problem for her is the ball struck her in the face. Other than that, physically, she's fine. Both teams with 10 on the field for the time being, as the captains, top of your picture, are allowed back onto the field. Here's Lungu. Tembo. Space to turn here for Nyangwe. Looking to that far side. Banda's there. Souls has done enough just for their presence. "90 minutes has come and gone. 3 minutes for Zambia or South Africa to seal it before extra time or a possible penalty shootout." Ellen Samuaka rising higher than the rest. Just hasn't been fluid from the South Africans. Banda's touch, looking for Lubanje. Just kicking it away at times, the South Africans, in the hope that it'll go in the direction of the teammates. More intent from the Zambians as they look to build once again. Then Banda looking to get it in behind that defense. Angle seemed too much at first, but in the end, Misosi's done a stunning job of keeping it alive. Belemu drills one in. Oh, that's great goalkeeping. Superb stuff to relieve the pressure of that defense from Makakola. Played nice and deep from Belemu. Lubanji with her height and presence was in there to try and unsettle that defense. And Makakola. Here is Lubanji. Can't find Banda thanks to it also. Now Belemu under pressure. Lubanji with a left foot this time. Belemu sending one in there. In fact, Katongo that was. Tembo. Early ball in. No problems for it also. Katongo sending it back in there. Bitboy with the header. Sozi with the footwork. Keeping it moving is Musase to Mwemba. Nicely done by the central defender. Here's Katong. Bilim. Banda. Will always be looking for a yard. She's got the space. Banda's shot. Scorer of 2 when Zambia had the beating of South Africa in a friendly. Looking for 1. That will see Zambia be crowned champions late in the day, and it doesn't come within the 90. So we will move on to another 30 minutes in trying to separate these two sides. What a battle it's turned out to be here. Stubborn are the South African ladies working their socks off against the Zambian side. One could argue has had a better go of it, played the better football. South Africa have played in patches when they way. In her place, Erin Hurst. Has coming off the bench on a few occasions of late, as has a starter in the earlier stages of the tournament for South Africa. Now, here's Banda. Done well, Panda. In the end, again, maybe one too many touches, frustrating. One or two of her teammates then with the fact that she's done a bit too much when there was movement to her left and right. Nicely done in with the top of the shoulder from Misozi up until that final pass. It looked good from her. Souls. Well, done well enough to find Dimeni. Time and space for Willem. No. Handa has the option in the run after the far side, doesn't need it as she passes it forward then. So much so, no, Makakula's come up with a stunning save and stayed down injured. Give her a yard and she will hurt you anywhere around that box. Hit this with a lot of power, did Barbara Banda. Onto that right foot, that's always the start of a problem. How's that for a save? Save of the day from Makakula. Landing, I think, was a problem. The ribs. The source of concern. The UJ goalkeeper in the third appearance with a smashing save. Well, she'll get back up on her feet. We'll continue to battle on here. As, well, there will be a few concerned looks on the faces of the South Africans, what with the pressure Banda and company are putting on. They ended strongly to the Zambians at the end of 90. They are starting strongly at the beginning of extra time. Banda with the in-swinger into that near post. No problems for South Africa. Tembo. Remember, with the early ball forwards, again, it's good work by Makama. Willem. Misozi. That's a good ball. Tembo will be disappointed with that final ball. Arrived timeously enough to Tembo. Needed to take care with the ball into the box. Misozi to Katongo. Lubanji, nice with the turn. Katongo will find Banda, who runs into trouble with guess who? Makama. Now, South Africa looking to push forward here. Sangasi with the initial ball. Nimeni asking questions of Mosase. No problems for the Zambian defender at the expense of a corner. Now, ball into the near post. Members there with the defensive effort. Another ball in there. Again, work needed on the near post. I think Wemba's injured herself dealing with that. She's off the field here, so there won't be much of a stoppage. I'll look to keep her off the field so play can continue without too much time being wasted. Just get those ankles off. Roll over. Should be the instruction from the referee. I think she's saying just that. There you go. One ankle, two ankles. Play can continue. Should be back on the field in the next few moments. The Green Buffaloes woman player should be back on the field soon enough. Lubanji. Demeni looks for the return. Yes, Demeni again. Just couldn't line it up in a position where she could pull the trigger. The Zambian defense was very quick to get numbers around and make life uncomfortable, but there was a slight opening there for the South Africans. Able to continue is the tough, durable and reliable Makama. Oh, we are moving into evening time here, and with the cloud cover surrounding Wazakele, the floodlights are on. Now, near post. Remember, back on the fields, deals with it initially, and it was helped on its way out for the throw-in. South Africa looking to keep the pressure on here. Tembo, Mwemba, Lungu. Good pressure from a South African point of view. Again, South Africans pick it up in a good area. They felt they should have had a foul. Then the referee from Lesotho feels nothing was wrong, so play continues with Belemu pushing forward for Zambia. Has read that well and came through earlier and won the set piece of the throw-in for South Africa. Again, look at the pressure from the likes of Katongo. And the company, so much so the Zambians win it back in a good area, that little touch, unable to find Banda. Lubanji throwing her weight around. Katongo there to win it back in a good area. She's got the footwork. Just unable to keep it alive. Such a good player for the Zambians in the midfield is Katongo. Has really contributed positively to the Zambian cause. The Zambian players in protest then, feeling there were a few yards stolen on this near side by Saul, so the referee more than happy to bring her back. Lubanji to Bilim. Back to Lubanji. Now got options up ahead of her. Now Banda, heavy first touch. Got to ground then, but no worries about a penalty from a South African point of view. Dimeni. Shamase ran into trouble where Katongo was concerned. Again, early ball forward here from the Zambians. Misozi will keep it alive. Tembo looking for Banda, looking for the left foot. Just wide of the mark. Continues to be a threat, doesn't she? Moments of menace are being created. Bruce Moape's side, yet another. As Banda this time shifts it onto that left foot. Can't hit the mark again with that left foot. Tembo plays it in early. That type of game where you feel maybe the 12th man coming to life and getting behind South Africa may be the major part that makes a difference. Dimeni waited an eternity to play that ball. All the while Lungu was coming in on a blind side and more than happy to take it away from her and take responsibility. They're getting louder and louder out in the stands. All the while Zambia have it here with Katongo. Talu's had a good game coming in off the bench. Nanyangwe, wearing the number 22 jersey, has simply been outstanding for the Zambians, the Green Buffaloes player. In her fourth appearance, Katongo having a problem here after that challenge. Yellow card it will be. Shamase, the latest to go into the referee's book. Late with that challenge. Same instruction, the edge of the field is right there. Ten on the field for the Zambians. They found Barbara Banda. Sometimes a little too eager to pull the trigger. Had enough time to maybe steady it and then assess our options before pulling the trigger. On a few occasions today, her teammates have shown frustration when she's opted to go alone rather than find a teammate in good areas, when they've been in menacing attacking areas against the South Africans. Now, Dimeni giving chase here, applying pressure. Pressure well handled by Mwemba. Bilim. Souls read it well. Has good work. Shamase to win it back again. She was isolated, 3 or 4 Zambian players around her. They've done that consistently well throughout this match, where they've made life extremely tough for the player on the ball in South African colours at any part of the field, forcing the mistakes. Again, there they are, hunting in packs. Lungu. Panda, good movement on the far side. Panda look to keep it alive towards Lubanji on the near. South Africa able to deal with it, and here they are pushing forward here. Limeni, again isolated. Goal kick. Coach Lulu having a moment where she's even giving high fives to our camera crew around the field. Now, some of you may remember Coach Lulu from the Tux days out in the PSL. If you ever attended a game out at Tux, when Tux was the PSL, there were two ladies that were MCs with dreadlocks, long dreads, and they would dance before the game, dance at half time, and at the end of the game as they made the announcement. Coach Lulu was one of them. I don't know how many of you would have attended those games, and the supporters here at the Isaac Wilson Stadium, again, coming together to sing a song that's become so popular in South African football circles, ZAMBIA, in their efforts to say ZAMBIA, Banyana, and get them to push on here and find that all-important goal. One really does get the feeling that opening goal, whenever it comes, will be so crucial in this match. Could be the winner. Katongo. Has doing well to break down the Zambian attacks every now and then. William now pushing forwards. Again, looking for another early ball inside that box. No problems defensively for South Africa, including good communication from Makakula. This is the first game that's gone beyond 90 minutes. Keep in mind, so far in this tournament, in the games we've had before this final, including the third and fourth playoff, there's been 21 matches, 69 goals scored at an average of 3.2. Also been 4 own goals scored, including the 2 in the third and fourth playoff. It's been a healthy scoring rate. No surprise to see things as they are, considering the conditions here at the Isaac Wilson Stadium. Ball in, Lubanji throwing that body around. They really are getting behind the South African ladies out in the stands. Just about all areas singing Asambe Nono. This Tembo has doing a good job. Strong against Banda. Determined defensively. Not only that, she found Dimeni. Couldn't keep it moving. Misozi, another that's had a good game. William has been consistent. Lubanji very much involved in this match. Souls. Williams ball in. Banda! 1-0! Oh, what a header! Goal number 10 of the tournament when Zambia needed it most. Barbara Banda rises above the rest with a quality header. It's the Zambian flag that flies high. Well, she scored all types of goals. Dead balls, 2 free kicks, 1 corner, some individual brilliance, and finally a header. All types of goals she scored in a 10 in this tournament. Well, it's broken the hearts of a few. They've seen enough, in fact more than a few. I should say maybe a few hundred are getting up off their seats and heading for the exits immediately as Banda scored that. I don't think they believe South Africa can fight their way back into this match. They are leaving in their droves, but Pelemu, tying, had it, quality, had it in the ball in. Oh, superb header, superb. Got up well, and at the beating then of Makama. Oh, what a header. Oh, what a ball. What a moment for the Zambians. Hoping to be crowned COSAFA champions for the first time. Top of your picture. They've seen enough. Quickly, the space is opening up in that top grandstand. All around. They don't believe the South Africans can fight back. That in itself is a message to the young girls out there. And that will hurt a bit. For the ladies on the field, they'll have to ignore all of that and carry on with business. Lubanji with a countryman and women out on the far side once again, always out in support of the Zambians, especially the gentleman middle of your picture with the Zambian shirt and the black track pants. He's come out here when there's only been about 4 of them. He's been as loud and as proud as any Zambian fan, either out here in Ekabeja or back home in Zambia watching on. Wow. Israel is watching on here, knowing that no matter the result, they'll be extremely proud of Simpiwe Dludlu and her young side, but still, time, not too much of it, but time to try and turn things around here. Lubanji. How quickly even the stand to the left of our picture has emptied out. It was packed 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, before the goal was scored. Katongo. Now, South Africa got a chance to push forward here with Manengela. Finding Nimeni. Is there a fight back in these girls here from South Africa? Here's Lubanji. So, Tembo. Asked a lot of Lubanji then. Well, it was a full house not too long ago. Many are heading for the exits now. It's quickly emptying out. You can see the gaps out in that top grandstand. You can see many marching to the right of your picture to where the exit is. Zambia aren't winning by a heavy scoreline, just a 1-goal difference. So 1 goal could make a huge difference if South Africa are the next to score it. They just don't believe South Africa will score by the look of it. Remember one game I covered out in the PSL here in South Africa, out in Mansburg, where many of the home fans left, and as they left, goals came in. And the home side not only drew but started winning, and many started rushing back inside the stadium to try and catch the drama that was unfolding late in the day. That made for a funny moment out in commentary. And if South Africa do score here, many will be rushing back to try and catch the drama that will unfold late in the day here. But time not on the South African side, it should be said in all fairness. The grandstand to the left, behind the goal defended by South Africa, almost completely empty. Katongo. Tembo under pressure from hers. Here's Katongo. Glides by one. They would pass. With the pieces quickly picked up by Tembo. Kept moving by Musase. Now Belemu looking for yet another assist. Decent ball in there. Could be a chance though. Banda! Banda. Glossed over. Could just be me, but the far side official looks cold. Didn't do it. Rakoto Zafinoro from Madagascar. Problems for Makakola. Ankle is the problem. Still able to see out the minutes that remain in this match. This place is emptying out quickly. Good work by Lubanji. Here's Litoso. Zambia still having enough gas in the tank to keep the pressure on here late in extra time. Lungu with the last touch. Here's Banda. Tembo. Running into trouble with Magama. And this Piri will be coming on here for the Zambians. And well, the impressive and hard-working Rachel Misozi will make way. Had a great game, as Misozi really has impressed amongst many Zambians that have played a good brand of football, maintained what we've seen in the standard. They've played through the group stages, semi-final, coming into this final. Makama. Nearly playing herself into trouble with Rachel Banda in a close proximity. Nice little 1-2. Not enough space, however, for the Zambians. Two minutes added on to the 30 to round up extra time. As things stand, penalties will not be a factor. Yes, once again, it's Banda that's done the business for the Zambians. 10 goals, yes, double figures she's scored in this tournament. Katong was at a stunning game in the middle of the park, tireless, wearing the number 12 jersey. So, lessons learned here. Important lessons learned for this young South African side. Keep in mind, this is not the strongest Banyana team. You'll find there are a good few youngsters in there that have been brought in to gain some much needed experience and increase the pool for Israel as she looks to get ready for the World Cup. The Zambians themselves will be getting ready for the World Cup. As things stand, they're looking good in their preparations for the World Cup to be crowned the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championships champions for the first time. That will be an important first. One feels for the Zambian cause in their preparations. Help lift their spirits, help get their confidence up and steer them in the right direction as they look to face the very best in the world. A few smiles out there already, as it's just seconds that are separating Zambia and the championship. The clock, with every second that goes by, ticking in their favor. Men's team successful for the Zambians. Ladies successful. Another tick for the Zambians. The time in the COSAFA region for Zambia. New champions. Yes, they did away with Tanzania, but these are brand spanking new champions in the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championship. First time ever for Zambia to be crowned COSAFA champions. And what a generation this has turned out to be. They will be the first to cross this threshold for Zambia.